How y'all doing? Hope all is well. My name is AJ White. I go to Earlham College. I'm a third-year junior from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm a biochem major, and today I'm going to be talking about Mark, the book of Mark today. When most people think about Mark, they probably don't know what to think of unless they're heavily in the religious community. But I know before this class I've previously taken, when I thought about Mark, I probably didn't know have any idea until I heard the name Jesus. So the story of Mark is about Jesus and his life. To give a little background, I think we all know a little something about Jesus. He comes from Nazareth. He builds, just a story of Mark, actually. He builds up his followers through the word of mouth and by performing miracles, which he does from the time he gets there and he leaves. He makes his way to Jerusalem. He makes his way to Jerusalem and persuades the people, and yet he is still crucified through the background of the story. So today what I really want to focus on is how people perceived Jesus. Okay. All right. So for this story, we're going to start here on Mark 4. Jesus is on a boat, talking to a crowd of people on the land, and he uses a bunch of parables for them to that they really don't understand, actually. Even his disciples didn't truly understand what he is trying to grasp at. And in chapter 4, in verse Mark 4, he talks about he uses parables as seeds and how seeds grow in soil and how they can't grow in soil if thorns are around them and such things and stuff. And it's like he's confusing the people, as in they really don't know who he really is. So after this, it really sparks up conversation between Jesus and his disciples. And while leaving Galilee, the disciples didn't grab enough food for themselves and began to speak amongst themselves. So Jesus he has said something along the lines of, let me find it real quick. Okay. Yep, it says, the disciples have forgotten to bring enough bread, and I only had one loaf with them in the boat. And Jesus told them to take care. So from Jesus saying take care, as in like you only have a little food, this take care means that it doesn't mean anything. It's just how they took it. They took it as that Jesus was probably mad, and that's why they thought he was saying that, like, we don't have any food, so that's why he's acting like this. And that's when Jesus comes and he says, Mark 8 verse 17, Jesus knew what they were saying, so he asked them, why are you discussing about not having any bread? Do you know or do you not? Do you know or understand yet? Are your minds so dull yet? You have eyes, can't you see? You have ears, can't you hear? Do you remember when I broke the 5 loaves of bread into loaves for 5,000 people? Have many baskets full of leftover pieces? Didn't you take up 12? How many did you take up? 12, they answered. And when I broke those 7 loaves from 1,000 people, asked Jesus, how many baskets full of loaf pieces did you take up? 7, they answered. And you still don't understand, he asked. So they still look at Jesus as like he's not a greater being, and it's almost disrespectful to him, because countless and countless times Jesus has performed miracles and done things that the things that they have never seen, like with the bread and healing sick, giving people vision, being able to walk again. Jesus did a lot of great things, and yet people still didn't really understand, who he really was. And, and they believed, and later on, you can see how their perceptions of Jesus come to take form and take place. Give me one sec, I had it. the parables had with Jesus, it kind of confused the disciples. He had a couple sit downs, like in Mark 9, 30 through 37. They're sitting down talking about Jesus and how they should use his name to further, better themselves, as in, do not try to stop them, because no one who performs a miracle in my name will be able soon after to say evil things about me. So, what I'm saying, just basically let them, and they will reap what they sow. And also in Mark 10, it is also being they're also asking questions such as, it was James and John, they was asking, can they sit next to Jesus, asking kiddie questions almost. And it was as if they didn't understand, like, although he is the Son of God, he does not have the power to allow people to sit next to him. And that's why he says that it is up to my Father. I mean, it's out of my hands, you know what I'm saying? It's basically my Father. He decides who he has made these seats for. And in these sit downs, he also foreshadows and tries to tell them that, that I will be forsaken, that he will be forsaken. He is here as a cast out king to help save the people of Jerusalem. Realize he is there doing great things, but they do not realize that Jesus himself is really there to save them from their own sins, and by helping them, and I could say, didn't nobody really understand who he was until the end in Mark 15, verse 39, when a soldier said, yes, he said, this man was really the Son of God. And I think that is powerful. And I also believe that they are scared. They, as in the disciples, are scared of Jesus as well. Jesus foretold the future, and by foretelling the future, he told them things that they wouldn't do, that they swore up and down that they wouldn't do, as in betray him. And he also told Peter that you will refuse me 3 times before the crow crows twice. And when Peter realizes what he's done right before him, he breaks down and cries, because, I think that's when he realizes that Jesus really is who he says he is. He told you what was going to happen, and it happened. And not only with seeing it, not only with being told what happened, he's also seeing the miracles that he can do, And at the end of Mark, it also says a lot about the society of Jerusalem that they were living in. After Jesus died, and he rose to heaven after a few days, after those 2 women went there to go see if he was there, and they realized he wasn't there, and the man sitting there told him, go tell someone that he's not here anymore. They didn't say a word. And that raises another question of, do you think they are scared or fearful of this, that it could start another uproar or something, or bring a new Messiah or some sorts, So thinking about that, I thought it was real interesting for sure. And, for the bigger picture of this, I don't think they realized what they had until he was gone. And even then, I can say that about today's world, as in, even if we were back then, I don't think we would have knew what we had until it's gone, until it was written in stone and paper. So I really think the book of Mark is really interesting too, just to see the dialogue along with Jesus and his disciples and his followers, and just the little interactions that they have, and how Jesus has smart remarks, and how he gets angered because the people don't listen, So thank you.